Today, I'm going to do something I've never done before. I'm going to use the most high-tech coaching software available to turn me into an avatar so that we can uncover the biggest hidden fault in the golf swing causing you to hit poor shots.
This isn't one or two people, is it?
This is a mammoth trait.
This is a mammoth.
And then we're going to show you a really simple fix for it.
Got Joe Hewer here. I said to you, if there was one thing that would transform a golfer's complete downswing and change how they hit it, you said yes, and it was?
Right arm flex relative to rotations, top of backswing, and also into the downswing, really.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We're going to dive into that. I'm going to hit some shots. We're going to use my swing as an example. We've got Rory's swing on here, Rory McIlroy, and we're also going to look at some sort of poorer movements. So is this best if I hit a shot first?
I think so, mate.
Have a look at my data,
Sounds
and
like a
then,
plan to me.
and then
Yep.
we'll go from there. Okay, so that one felt like a pretty solid strike. So what do you want to look at? When we're looking at right arm, what's
Yep.
the first thing you're looking at?
So first thing I actually look at is the sequence of how they work together relative to the turn.
Okay.
So a common mistake I tend to see in amateur golfers is they have a lack of sort of rib cage rotation or thoracic spine rotation, and they falsely make a length of backswing with a lot of runoff of the trail elbow. Okay. Now, I tend to see in the better players the complete mix. I see a much bigger rotation with a much wider trail elbow. Obviously, everyone thinks the further they take the golf club back, the longer the ball's going to go. Now, obviously, that's true to a certain extent, but then that has negatives also accustomed with that.
Okay.
If you rotate, you run off, that's really difficult then to sequence on the way down. Everything gets very narrow, hard work. Obviously, the width is a key thing for us in terms of speed, in terms of space. Everything gets a lot easier when we've got width.
So what, as a rough guide, I know every golf swing is different. What are you looking for as a right arm at the top?
I like to see no more than 90 degrees.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was I?
Yeah, 110.
Okay. So I'm not a million miles away. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to try and hit a shot.
Lovely.
And try and replicate what you just explained.
Yeah.
So what Joe was saying that he sees a lot in amateurs is a lack of turn here. So not turning the chest as much. So I'm going to try and make a backswing where I turn the chest less. And because of that, I'm then going to try and create my backswing by basically flexing my right arm a little bit more. So I'm going to try and create that sort of pattern that Joe sees. And we'll just see what that does to the data. Oh, well, it didn't feel as good, I can tell you that much. Yeah, so actually my club path went from 4 degrees right, draw pattern,
Yep.
to 4 degrees left,
Yeah,
which is more of a...
Which what we tend to see in the higher handicapper struggle with that sort of left to right miss.
Okay.
Can get hard work.
So when we look at the golf swing from a sort of down the line view,
Yep.
and we're looking at this sort of top of the backswing down into delivery,
Yep.
if someone underturns, overflexes,
Yep.
what traits would you see in this part of the downswing?
So what I tend to see is when they have that sort of overflex trail arm, the right arm gets too deep, everything then gets out and across.
Yeah.
They basically try and get the club down with lots of rotation.
Yeah.
So the upper body rotation gets very big early. Immediately, that throws the hand path out, hence your club path.
Yeah.
Swing direction works too far left. Attack angle gets very deep and down.
Yeah.
Hard work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's now show you what great players do. Let's use Rory McIlroy as an example. We'll take him up to the top of his golf swing, and I want you to pay attention to the number that refers to how much bend he's got in his trail arm. You can see that value there. Now, as soon as he starts his downswing, that value changes because his trail arm is lengthening. It's straightening by some amount all the way through the downswing. And the key thing is it happens right from the top. That's the key move that helps him get into that perfect delivery position to hit those high draws with both his driver and his irons. Let's now look at what that actually means for your golf swing and the shape of your golf swing. Again, we're going to use Rory, and I'm going to take my golf swing, my normal golf swing, and overlay it to Rory's. Now, clearly, I'm not as good as Rory, but you can see as they play, we both get into sort of similar positions on the way down. I tend to play with a draw. Rory's stock shot is a draw. That's why we see those positions relatively similar. Now let's take that poorer golf swing that I just made, where I got narrow at the top, I didn't turn my body as much, and as I started down, I tried to keep that bend in that right arm. Just look at the difference. When I did that golf swing, I'm much steeper, the club shaft is not in as good a position, and that is going to give me so many issues with contact and consistency and distance, all the things we've been speaking about in this video. So the real key part to this is how you structure your trail arm and how it moves in the downswing. If you can get it to be a lot more like Rory, you're going to hit much more solid golf shots.
So what we're really saying is this isn't one or two people, is it?
This is a mammoth trait.
This is a mammoth
yeah,
trait.
we see this, I would say, if you had 100 amateurs in here, you're 98 of them
Okay.
working on.
So talking about these movements, Joe, let's take Rory McIlroy.
Yeah.
What does he do that's different to most amateurs?
Okay, so to summarise really then, we've got a bigger rotation, we've got a wider trail arm, and that trail arm lengthens quicker on the way down.
Okay. So poorer golfers would tend to underturn, overflex,
and stay in flex.
Okay, perfect.
Can I imaginarily put a ball in your hand?
Yeah.
So copy me, Chris.
Do this.
Okay. You're going to make your turn.
Okay. And not moving my arms.
No, not moving your arms.
Yeah.
Yep. So you're going to make your rotation.
Okay.
Okay. And you're just going to see how far you can sort of work these arms out and away from your body.
Oh, okay. So I'm almost trying to go into that.
Yeah. So your
bright
visual.
light that I just looked at.
Yeah. Boom. And just see how
Okay.
far you can actually.
So it's almost like a
create
ball
that
into.
loop.
So I guess they could do this with a ball if they had one?
100%.
With like a football or
Yeah,
or
a big tennis ball or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. So we go in turn here.
Yeah, and then stretch
And then
that
really
out.
feel like I'm stretching away.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that feels really different.
Yeah, so you can see here the width is tremendous.
Yeah.
There's the next theory we tend to see with this, if you do that again for me, is that we have to keep this tricep really on the body,
Oh yeah.
which is not what tends to happen.
No.
So the olden sort of stick a glove under your right
Yeah,
armpit,
yeah.
it's great if you want to hit it 25 yards, but if you want to get some speed into the golf club, this can come off. I try and get this tricep parallel to the floor.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Wide here,
Yeah.
happy days. So the first thing I'm looking at is, can the actual individual do it mobility-wise?
Yeah.
If they can't, we train that. If they can, happy days. We can get them in that position.
Yeah.
I do some drills with a club in my hands and just get them feeling that position
Okay.
and then hit some balls.
So if I do that little exercise with a club now, so it would be sort of here,
Yeah,
onto
lovely.
the shoulder.
Big rotation with the
That feels
torso.
like I was in this position.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to allow my lower body to turn, really big turn,
Beautiful,
And then I'm going to go into there.
beautiful. Now I would look for here, as much width in here as we can,
Yeah.
and tricep just a little higher.
Okay, perfect.
If we can get this better at the top,
Yep,
we should see that influence the downswing pattern.
correct.
But have you got any ideas on what they can sort of do as a downswing movement to really eliminate sort of these positions?
Yeah, so what I would say first of all is, the first thing that we want is the concept of not having to then create a crunching motion on the way down. Yeah. So when we're at the top, tricep parallel to floor, the only thing I'm getting people to work on is the tricep reconnecting to this part of the body.
Yeah.
So we're lowering back onto the side of the body.
Yeah.
Now, I see so many amateurs with a trail arm that's miles away
yeah.
from trail hip. So I'm just trying to get them way more connected working down. So a magnet here, just onto the right side of the hip. I'm lowering without crunching.
Yeah.
And then I would just implement a golf club very slowly, lower. That puts me in a really good position. All I need to do now is just rotate
Yeah.
through golf ball.
So if you go to the top into a good position,
Yep.
and if you do that sort of crunching in position, so that right arm is getting narrower.
Yeah.
And what we can see from my golf swing and Rory's
Yeah.
is that right arm
Never narrows.
doesn't get narrower.
Yeah.
It actually starts to get
It widens.
wider. So I'm going to hit a shot now, and I'm going to try and do a little drill. So I'm going to try and incorporate all of
Perfect.
those
Let's do it.
movements.
Go from there.
And straight away, that to me feels so much easier. I mean, my path moved again
Yep.
more out to the right.
Yeah.
Which for many
Makes
golfers
total
is
sense.
kind of where they
Yeah.
want to be moving towards. Obviously, speeds was down, but that felt really easy. That felt like I could actually put pressure on the ball from here, as
100%.
opposed to this.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
it's like
Yeah,
a,
and gotta
it's like a
re-lengthen and do
jump
funky
up and,
stuff. Yeah,
and
yeah.
all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff there. So,
absolutely.
what you've described as being fault, right arm flex,
Yeah.
steep downswing, we see that all the time. And if you've watched your golf swing on camera, I almost guarantee you'll have seen one or two other things that
Yeah.
that Joe has
It's
spoken
normally
about.
it's normally a consequence of poor positions earlier on.
Yeah, perfect. All right, trail arm, more turn, lower in the downswing, and you'll start flushing your irons.